Good morning. We are going to do a Bridget Riley inspired piece of op art today. These are the materials that you need, so let's get started. First, take your sketchbook, open to a piece of paper. It can be one that you used just for runoff in the past or another one, it doesn't matter. Get a piece of mixed media paper, your project paper. Put it in the center of your sketchbook. And then rotate your sketchbook so that it is in landscape format. You can use your HB pencil for this next step, or I really like these cheap mechanical pencils, so that's what I'm going to use. The first thing that you do is to identify a spot on your paper that you want the center of your graphic to spiral out from. I'm going to make a spot that's just left of center and just about below center going this direction. So someplace over here. It doesn't really matter if your spot and my spot are in the exact same place. It's close enough. Then I'm going to take my ruler, and it doesn't have to be perfectly vertical up and down, but I'm going to put my ruler on that little dot and make a line that goes up and down. On the right side, I'm going to make 4 more lines coming out kind of equally spaced. So I'm going to have a line coming out 1, 2, 3, 4. I just really lightly drew these so that I can kind of get them somewhat equally spaced. Now I can take my ruler, put it down on my dot, and then extend that line out. And I can do that in both directions. And do the same thing over here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly spaced. Close is close enough. Oopsie. And I'm going to come over here. And one more. So you can see I have some, it's kind of like a pie. So I have some like small pieces of pie and some bigger pieces of pie, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. If that bothers you, then you could erase and go back and kind of make adjustments as you would like. But the important thing is to have an even numbers of pieces of pie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what we want. If for some reason you have an odd number of pieces of pie, then you want to fix that now. All right, so the next step is to make little curves in each piece of pie, alternating directions. Let's start in this little piece right here. And we're gonna come away from our center, and we're just gonna make a little like C shape. And we're gonna come out a little bit further and make a C shape, a little bit further and make a C. Really go slow. Try to make them kind of spaced just a little bit bigger the further out they go. And make those curves significant so that you can kind of see that they're really curved. You don't want them to be flat lines. You want them to be curved lines. The next one, then we're gonna do the opposite direction, so kind of like an M. Anyway, we're gonna just curve this way. And do go ahead and curve those lines. The more that you curve it, the more exaggerated the illusion is going to be. And then the next one, we're going to curve like U's. And we're starting, you can see where to start based on where the pie shape next to it was begun. and then we're rotating it around. Now we're doing N's or M's or upside down C's. Really make sure you curve them. The more curved they are, the more the illusion is going to be. Okay, it already looks so cool. The next step is to take your thin marker, not that one, or a thin Sharpie, and you're going to go over all of these lines. It's up to you. If you want to use your ruler, you could hold your ruler down and use that for your straight lines, or you could freehand them. It's up to you, whatever you are comfortable with. Okay, oh my gosh. Oh, it looks so cool. Okay, so now's the next part, and you have some choices. I'm going to use black and white because Bridget Riley did a lot in black and white. She also did a lot in color, so if you wanted to use color, you could use color. So it might not be a bad idea to start by marking the checkerboard pattern. So we're going to be alternating. So for instance, on this pie shape, where I can just decide wherever I'm going to start. I'm going to start here, skip, do here, skip, here, skip, here, skip, here, skip, skip, here, skip. And I'm going to take my black and I'm going to very carefully, nice and slow, because I don't want to get impatient now. I've been doing a good job of going nice and slow. So I'm going to trace that shape. Might even help me to turn my paper around. Like I said, you can do this part in color if you would like. Okay, and now I'm going to skip every other one. Doing black, white, black, white, black, white. Remember, when you are coloring in something using Sharpie or some other kind of marker, that on the outside you go really slow, and then on the inside you can go a little bit faster. When you get to the edges, really slow down. And you can see how I was a little bit messy in here, so I'm going to come in, see if I can do a little bit better job. Get my last little black spot out here. Now, for each of the pie pieces on either side, I'm going to alternate, which means that if this was white on this pie piece, then the one it's going into is going to be black. So if this one's white, the one it's going into is going to be black. Skip, black, skip, black, skip, black, skip, black, skip, black, skip, black. So it can be easy to mess this up accidentally. So really, that old carpenter saying that you measure twice and cut once, really look at it carefully and make sure that you have alternating checkerboard. Otherwise, the illusion won't work quite so well. Feel free to turn that piece of paper around and really go slow. Make it great. You're here anyway. You might as well go slow and enjoy the process. Somehow that seems to not quite be right in the middle, but it's okay. So it already looks so cool. Like this is like a slide, and then this is like a tunnel, and a slide and a tunnel. But we're gonna add even a little bit of colored pencil to make it look even more like an optical illusion. So you'll want your pencils and color coordinating your pencils based on the colors that you chose. So since I chose black and white, I'm going to use my white pencil, and I'm going to use my black pencil. Ooh, the black and the blue look very similar. Okay, I think this is the black. Great. Now I'm going to, with my black pencil, I'm going to shade on the outside with pressure, and then light, 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 light. On the outside, pressure, light, 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 light. I'm doing this just on my white stripes. Pressure, light, 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 less, 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 less. Pressure, less, 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 less. Pressure, less, 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 less. Pressure, less, 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 less. And then what that shading does is it tricks the eye into thinking that this is actually curving. So pressure, and light, 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 light. Maybe bring this up just a little bit more. So I'm almost like creating a highlight here on top of my, I don't know, tunnel, convex. Anyway, the part that's kind of like curving out. Oh my gosh, that looks so amazing. I'm gonna do this with all of my pie shapes. On the outside, pressure, pressure, and then light, 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 so that that center of that shape is white. Light, 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 light. Pressure, and then less, 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 less. So if I had used pink or green to make my design, then I would probably use pink or green in order to do my shading, a darker tone of the color that I used. And I'm just going to do this on all of my pies, whether it's concave or convex. I'm just shading the outside edges of each pie shape with pressure, and then less, 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 less as I come toward the center of the pie. Trying to keep all of my shading radial, so it's all going from the center out. If you do a good job, it should take quite a bit of time. Hi, Gus. Okay, thanks for visiting. Oh, it's looking good. Ooh, I like that. So it's important to keep the top center and the bottom center free of the shadow so that it looks like it's pushing up or pushing down. And there's like a little highlight. Remember your shading technique. It's best if your pencil is kind of dull. It's all about that pressure. Making those lines nice and close together. Okay, that's starting to really look like it's warped. It's so cool. And so just to push the illusion a little bit further, I'm going to use my white pencil. In your case, if you used a color alternating your dark and light, then it would be whatever your lightest color is in here. And I'm just going to shade with pressure in the center and then less pressure. Pressure in the center, less pressure. And I'm doing this on my dark lines. Pressure, and then less, 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 less. Pressure, less, 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 less. Again, keeping that so that it's radial. It's going toward the center. Pressure, less, 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 pressure, less, less, less. And I'm only going about a third of the way, like the center third with this. Oh, that looks good. Pressure, less, 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 less. Remember, I'm not coloring it in. I'm creating the sense of highlight, which is going to force the illusion a little bit more. So I'm not just coloring over my dark line. I'm creating that sense of highlight. It's like a little bit of light that's bouncing off of the shape. So we have shadows in the crevices and highlights on top. trying to make all of those lines go toward the center. There you go. That's looking pretty good. Great job, guys.